you, Cindy.
It's good to see you, Tom.
Huh?
It's good to see you.
Thank
You're
you.
doing well.
Thank you.
We owe you, Cindy. Keeping us in line.
Yeah.
Always does, right?
All right, well, let's go ahead and start the meeting with the, do we start pledge allegiance? No, okay. We'll call the order and the approval of the agenda. Everybody get a chance to look at the agenda and see if you want any additions.
That's all.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
And I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Everybody in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay. Did everybody get a chance to review the minutes from the last meeting?
I reviewed them, but I don't remember getting a revised copy of the minutes, and maybe I did, I probably missed it.
Okay.
If I did, if I could get a revised copy.
This is the minutes from the last meeting, not the one beforehand.
Yeah, the ones beforehand that we corrected.
The one we corrected, we didn't correct the minutes, we just adjusted them, and they're on, that's on the website.
Okay.
Okay, so,
We approved them with finding
Yeah, and I just didn't, that revise it.
I'll make a motion, we accept the minutes as written from July 22nd meeting.
second?
I'll second that.
Motion made, second. Everybody in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay. Next on the agenda is public comments. Do you have anything, Cindy?
Yes.
You're the only member of the public here, so.
I didn't see it out there enough. I didn't put it out like I should have. No, my only question is Greg and I were talking, and I had mentioned about getting this on the, I don't know, midterm or for a vote. Is there, I'm going to read it the way, is there a referendum already approved by state legislator that can be placed on the ballot for solid waste district, and I'm reworded it a little bit, for public to vote on retaining it or dissolving it? Is there a legislative mandate already that, or what do you call it?
Referendum.
Referendum. That's where we couldn't find anything. And if there's not, what is the process for us to do that, to get that on there?
Abolish?
No, that's not what, that's not,
Okay, what was the referendum?
to whether to, just to get a yes or no from the public on whether we keep it or, get rid of it.
Okay.
I think I just would like to see the public to have the input of what they feel, what the public thinks.
Well,
Not that would settle it, that's going to be this.
Yeah, I do know that there are limited things that you can put on a referendum,
Right.
so that I'm going to have to turn to our.
Thanks. And without hitting the books, I can't tell you exactly what we can and can't put on a referendum. There is a statutory process for how a county would decide if they wanted to keep or do away with their solid waste district. So
Right.
there is a process for the county to do it. I'm just not aware of what the process would be to create a referendum. That's a completely separate portion. It wouldn't be under the statutes governing solid waste districts. It would be under the election code. I've had minimal involvement with the election code. I can look it up, I just can't answer it on the spot.
Okay, that's
But I
what
can get
we've
an
been
answer.
reading, and
Yeah.
it is so based on school and school taxes
Yeah,
that I
it's-
can't,
It's, my gut says that there's probably not a mechanism for that type of specific county-wide referendum, but that's just a guess, I could be wrong. Most any referendum I've ever had any involvement with or any recollection of has always been statewide. Every election we see, there's referenda at the bottom.
Right.
I'm just not aware of any that are done on a local level. Although, we have seen school taxes and things like that come up for votes. The city of Hamilton did a vote on school tax. Del City's done a vote on a school tax.
and that's what that code really is based around. That's
Yeah,
why.
And so, that's why I say, don't hold me to a no on that, because there may be a mechanism, I just don't know what it is.
And I'm not standing here saying I'm for or against it. That's not, I just want, to see what, they showed up when it come up for the price, So what do they want? What do they want? You
Right.
know,
And-
because that cost is gonna come up again. I mean, it has to.
But I've seen
Yeah.
referendums, a couple of them were, if the, a school project, and this is why the schools are part of the sample, the school projects exceed a certain amount, and I think it's $10 million, then there has to be a referendum.
Yeah.
And the referendum is whether or not to pay part of the property tax. And the same, and there was another referendum that was proposed when the jail was built. So the jail project went over $10 million. The referendum was going to be not whether or not to build a jail, but whether or not to fund it with property tax. And the county decided to fund it with the special legislation, local income tax, instead of property tax, so we didn't need that referendum.
Yeah. And it
So-
was financing bonds was a different
Yes.
creature, yeah.
And-
So
and
since this is a
This isn't
tax,
financed by
basically,
bonds, So this is not now, if we were one of the counties where it was on our property tax, then I would envision a mechanism to do the exact same type of thing. But our solid waste district's not on our property taxes, we're a fee-based district.
But there's so many stipulations, that's why I referred to Jeff.
I'll
because
do,
it-
yeah, I'll do some research and see what I can find out about that. It's an interesting question.
Okay.
Hell, I'm like you, I'd like to know the actual pulse of the community.
that's all I'm asking.
However,
In our discussion, because me and her talked about this quite a bit back and forth, trying to even just find where the codes are, just so that we have a clue, to have a conversation.
Mhm.
We're not looking for a mandatory referendum, we're looking for an advisory referendum.
Right.
which is
Yeah.
Just a
totally
yes or
different,
no,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mandatory means
Bec-
if the vote's yes, then it's yes.
And
Yeah.
when that's, yeah,
We want to
that,
look for an advisory, right?
Right,
Just to make
right.
that clear.
Question.
so you guys know, yeah,
Yeah,
a yes
it's
or
a public
no.
question, is what it really is.
Yeah. And is there a difference there,
Yeah.
that the law may
Can we
allow
put a,
that?
Can we put a public opinion question on, about?
Yeah,
That's
and
the
I'll
question.
check the election code. Like I said, my gut tells me that we probably can't specifically do that, but I don't want, that's not a final answer, though.
Okay.
I've been wrong.
I appreciate
We
that.
got plenty of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was it, 90, or 76?
74 days.
74 days. So whichever election it would go on. So,
Right.
okay, thank you.
Jeff, when you find that out, can you email us all and include Cindy in that so she knows your answer too?
I can do that.
I think she'd like that.
All right, let's put it this way. I'll definitely send an email on how people decide to forward that around will be fine with me.
Okay, if I get it, I'll forward it to Cindy or someone,
Yeah,
make sure she
yeah,
gets,
I
she's the
can-
one who asked it,
I
so let's
can
make
do
sure she
that.
gets the answer. But-
Yeah.
And I'll send you the, I can't find it here, I thought I had it in my stack of papers, but I'll email you what I got from Rachel.
Uh-huh.
When she asked this question originally, I went to Rachel to see, what is the process?
Yeah,
And it's literally a section out of the election board called public questions.
yeah. That was gonna be one of my next steps, was gonna be call the clerk and say, hey. They deal with election issues daily, I deal with them right when they come up, so.
Right.
All right.
Was that the only question that you had? Okay.
Okay. If there's, Jeff asked if he could be excused if there's not any other legal.
Yeah, I
questions.
apologize, folks. I've got to take my wife to Nashville for her MS infusion treatment. We're going to drive down tonight because she begins early in the morning, and I don't want to leave at 3 a.m. So.
But before you do leave, I do want to say something publicly. Last time at the last meeting, I said that I was disappointed that you weren't here. That's not directed at you. If anything, those fingers are pointed back at us, not you, because it's our responsibility to ask you to be here.
Yeah.
So if I was disappointed with anyone, I was disappointed with myself. For
The
not being
whole
here.
reason that I don't attend every meeting, the whole reason that we've kind of had that practice of me only being here upon specific requests is I'm not a contract attorney. I get paid hourly, and I'm sensitive to the idea that the district doesn't have money to burn on an attorney. So I gotta put a kid through college. If you guys want to invite me to every meeting, that's fine. But I'm just as happy to save the board money.
I appreciate it.
So I'm going to run out of here and save you a little bit, and keeping me out of the rest of this meeting. So, appreciate it, folks.
Be careful.
Thank you.
Okay. Next on the agenda is approval of the financial statement. Would you like to elaborate on that?
No significant variances or anything to address this month, so.
I would say, I'm looking over it, I didn't see anything that just jumped out.
the insurance continues to be a negative variance, but it's just timing, so.
Does anybody have any comments or questions? I'll entertain a motion to accept the financial statement as written.
So
Motion, or I'll second either one there.
Okay, motion made and seconded.
Made the motion.
Who made the motion?
Greg.
Greg, and then Gary seconded. Everybody in favor?
Aye.
Everybody opposed, same sign. All right, motion made, second, and carried unanimously. Next thing on the agenda is the advisory board update. Kim, you had communicated to me that we had 3 applicants. Do we have any more than that?
I've sent you the 3, and I think there's a 4th one that Ralph was supposed to tell you about, send you information.
But
on.
have they applied to your office?
All they've done is, all I've gotten is what I sent you. Nobody's really applied, they just said they want to be on the board.
Okay, the question that I have is, you made a comment, the advisory board is 4 to 8 people. Do we have to have 4 to be an advisory board?
No.
Okay. And then the next question is, can someone on this full board be on the advisory board too? At one time I was, both.
You'd have to look at the statutes that I sent you.
Do what?
You'd have to look at what's in the statute,
Okay.
as far as advisory. I don't know if it's a problem.
In the past.
I don't think it has been.
That it's possible.
Yeah.
So do you have the list of people?
No. I just forwarded everything to you guys.
I remember it was Cindy Taylor,
Yes.
you're Beth Hauser, and I can't remember the third one.
Kelly Connor.
Kelly.
Kelly S. Connor, and I don't know.
And then there's
who
the,
that is.
like I said, the 4th one is from Candleton. She was wanting to get on the advisory board back before COVID.
Mhm.
And she told Ralph she'd like to get back on it, but I don't know her name, I don't know anything about it. Ralph knows the
Tom,
information.
I think it's the lady that ran for clerk up there originally. She was a Harper, her maiden name, but I can't think of. she
Well, I
also-
think-
Not Crystal, is
No, that's.
I think that they have to officially put their
Right.
application into the office.
Well, they
Matter of fact,
don't have
she's
an
on Region
application, they just say
15
it would be.
board.
Huh?
She's on the Region 15 board from Candleton.
Well,
I talked to her last night, but I can't think of what her name is.
I don't know.
again, there is no application, it's just they would like to be on the board. And that you guys-
Right, but they need to put their.
They need to have
work
a
in.
formal request.
Formal request at the solid waste office, because that just makes it even. That's
Well, they
just the way I
need to
feel.
put it
about it.
into the email or whatever, that's.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, some way.
I
right.
thought a key
Has the
term-
3 did that, Tom?
Hmm?
Has the 3
Yes.
that we got? Okay.
Yes.
I thought a key term there that I noticed on that material you sent us, Ken, concerning what kind of person makes a good member of an advisory board. And the key term that jumped out at me was pro-environment. A pro-environment person.
Mhm.
You know, so that tells me that that's somebody who is concerned about quality of life, quality of air, hazardous chemicals and so forth in our community,
Mhm.
and definitely pro-environment. I thought that was a key term.
So, with that said, do we want to take action on repopulating the advisory board this evening?
I think we almost have to, because
I think it'd be a good idea.
you were talking about the comprehensive study or report needs to be started on.
What's that?
The plan.
Oh, the 20-year plan?
Yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it has to be. It's due for updating in November.
Well, what you can do is, if somebody comes, once we get done tonight, who gets put on there, we can add to it up to that 8.
You can up to 8 years.
So we don't have to do them all
And that's
tonight,
up,
you know.
Certainly. We've done that before.
yeah, the advisory board, once the advisory board's formed, the advisory board, then they'll be the ones to vet anybody coming into get on the board. They bring it to the joint board for approval.
Mhm.
I mean, or if they directly go directly to the board, but that's up to, we, like I said, The board, way back when, decided between 4 and 8 people. That way you didn't get too carried away.
Right.
Mainly it was the 8 people was the limit.
Yeah, if you get over 8, then it gets.
Then you got a mess.
So, I mean, my opinion is we should populate this and get this advisory board going as soon as possible.
Yeah, I don't mind voting on the ones that we have, but I do think that, the only place that I saw it was actually on the website, your website, right, was where, that was basically the gist of the advertising, other than the YouTube or whatever we're on right now.
You know, we've had multiple, but this, you talk about the response that you talked about the other day, that's more than we normally have.
Okay.
Because we've been trying to get people on the advisory board since I can been here. And,
I think if somebody asked to be on it, I think we should.
you know, but like I said, we haven't had
Jump
anybody
in.
ever asked to be on it.
Oh, I'm not saying that, I'm saying that we want more people to
Well,
join.
no, yeah,
We need
but
to
that's what I'm saying.
advertise
We
in some other
advertise
way
and-
than what we did, because we're gonna max out on what we got, so, you know.
Well, perhaps the people we put on there will know somebody else who might want to be on there.
That's
They
a
might
good-
be a source of
Word
value.
of mouth is great, but I also, I mean, what's it cost to put it in the paper, will I add?
How long you want to run it?
Well, honestly, the newspaper should cover this under covering normal business.
They should.
We should.
I'm just saying.
We won't put an ad.
They used to
in,
come
an
to all
ad
these
in.
meetings. I haven't seen them lately.
Yeah,
We
well,
haven't had one to a meeting for a long
Yeah.
time.
they're
I think
going
they
through some
watch it
administrative
first.
changes, and I understand that, but bummer.
Will you post it on Facebook for us too?
Yeah, I had one. I've asked 7 people. I've got 7 no's.
Okay.
See?
Well, I
You've
think
got what
it
I'm
just
talking
needs to get
about.
started. I mean,
I'm okay with like the word of mouth and Facebook and stuff, but I just wanna see it out, I just didn't see it anywhere, and I don't have Facebook, so I never see those posts.
Nobody reads the paper, so.
that's right, I mean, I'll
Trust me,
pick up
just
the
put it on
paper once in a
TikTok.
while,
That seems to be
but I
nice.
don't read Facebook
Friendlier.
either. I mean,
I'm just saying nobody reads the paper.
I'm told a
Read
lot
what
about
it-
it, but I don't read it.
Come up with
Okay.
our ad.
I just wanted to make a comment on advertising it somehow,
Right.
but if it's being put out on
Well,
Facebook and stuff like
okay,
that.
we'll do, I guess go back to the subject at hand.
Yeah.
Do we want to repopulate, and how many do we want to put on? And Charlie mentioned to me at one time about having a full board liaison, and I don't think that's a bad idea either. So, that would make a 4-board member. Charlie said he would do it.
Excellent.
And then we could grow it from there. You know, that would, if it needs to be grown, maybe the 4 will do
And
it.
It's enough.
if it's any type of violation for me to serve on both boards, then I could,
As far as I know,
You
it's
just
not, because the
attend.
advisory board is not a,
it don't have to be a voting member.
it's not a governing board.
Yeah.
It just advises.
No, but they do a lot of research.
Right, they did, but I'm saying, they don't do anything, so, you know,
That would be a-
so having a member of the joint board or the advisory board shouldn't be a problem, because
I think so.
unless it's, because there's no conflict of interest, if you want to call it that.
Right. So, anybody want to make a motion?
To put these 3 on there plus Charlie, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Then to repopulate the advisory board?
Before we do, and I'm just gonna bring it up, and I know Beth, if your wife put on it, that won't cause any problems for you, will it?
No,
Okay.
we don't talk a lot.
We will listen.
And I say this, I just don't want anybody to
Right.
speak poorly of you or your wife for that reason. I just thought I'd.
Well,
And
there's a reason
Well,
for him to speak.
And again, let me-
You know, if we're going down the path that it may be a conflict, well, then that would make Charlie.
Yeah, and I know, and that's what kind of.
Let me bring something else out here. We had people before, people that were contractors, construction, stuff like this, being on the advisory board. And we even talked about possibly the conflict of interest if we had their company do something, a project with her. But again, they're not on the joint board.
Right, but it's only an advisory
So-
too, but
Yeah.
I just wanted, for
Now,
for
she
your.
may,
in
she
respect to
may
you, Tom,
pressure
I-
him into voting one way or the other, but that's beside, that's her point.
Yeah.
But now, she did tell me that if there was, since the board is limited to 8 people, if there was over 8 people applied, she would
Okay.
pull her application.
Okay, I just don't want to see any drama come on you for that,
No.
Okay, all right.
I'm sure
If you're 100% okay with it, then I can live with it.
Chris, I'm sure somebody have a problem with it.
I'm just,
No, wait, no.
I just don't want any,
As long as Tom's not the
And
swing vote
Tom,
on
well,
something,
I'll
we should
reach
be
out to
okay.
that lady who I think it is in Cannleton.
Okay.
And see if she's interested.
Yeah, I mean, we can add them at the next meeting.
Right.
But I think we need to get something,
Yeah, we need to get it started.
something
We
going.
got, if I'm not mistaken, if you look at statute, we had to have it within 30 days.
I think so, yeah.
So,
okay.
The only thing I would do, I'd just refrain from voting, Tom.
Yeah.
See?
Oh.
There you go.
I can do that.
That's a good idea.
Probably I should too.
Yeah, you should do.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, we got enough votes in, enough.
Oh, yeah, thank God one of them said, getting close here.
Yeah.
Good. Well, all right.
Anybody else want to join?
No, I'll make that motion to appoint these four, is it Kelly Connor, Cindy Taylor, Beth Hauser, and Charlie Ballmeister to the advisory.
Second?
Okay, motion made second. Everybody in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Same sign? And I abstain.
And I abstain.
gonna vote no.
My wife's not here.
All right. Well, Ken, I guess you'll contact the Cindy and, I thought,
you guys do that.
huh?
That's
Okay.
your job.
Cindy, you're on the board.
We don't run.
I got one then, Tom.
Charlie, you're on the board.
I
I got one.
I
We
don't
got
run the
two
advisory
then.
board.
Hey, you let your wife know?
Tom,
Who runs
could you
the
tell your
advisory
wife?
meeting?
He's gotta reach
Anytime I was on there, you
The
did.
advisory
Connor is the only one we have to reach out to, right?
They report to you,
That's
I don't know
how we
who
do it.
runs it, but they report to the joint board.
The advisory reports to the joint board.
But, I
just-
mean, Charlie's-
just like I do here, I get things ready for you, stuff like that, but as far as, they're the ones that set the meeting, they're the ones that set, you know, they report to you.
Well, in all honesty, I only have one person to reach out to.
Yeah.
It's Kelly. I mean, we tell Beth, I just told Charlie, and Charlie told Cindy, so we only got one to reach out to.
Charlie, you want to take the lead on get, when you
I
can
wanna-
get a,
Yeah.
Try to, if you can get a hold of them,
I
find
will
out when
get
they
with
wanna
you.
meet.
I
go
will
from there.
contact them.
If we're gonna
and,
organize.
We'll set something up
Yeah.
soon.
get their schedules and
Right.
something going? Okay.
Charlie, you might try to get some information, they might want to know, what is this group supposed to do?
Right.
And that's probably, maybe Ken has that or something, he sent us some information there. What is their objective, what are they supposed to do, and that will give them something to go by, you know?
Okay. We can take care of that.
All right, and we got different meeting places in the county if you need it. I mean,
Right.
the Armory, there's a, at the highway garage, there's a facility that's available, and so wherever y'all wanna meet. I guess you can meet in
McDonald's.
in your backyard if you want to. Because they're not public meetings.
We used to meet in the training room, so
Uh-huh.
must just as easy to meet in the training room.
Yeah.
If it's available because of now with COVID and that.
It's always available.
Yeah. I mean, it's not available on Wednesday, but.
Right. But, you know, we've moved our budget hearing away from there.
Yeah. Okay, next on the agenda, director's report.
Hey, start off with is y'all can, look out, you see Debbie's not here. Debbie no longer works for us. She had to quit. So we're in the process of trying to find someone to replace her. Hopefully we'll get enough applications in that we can make a decision sometime next week. Keep our fingers crossed. Okay, also, we had the cardboard trailer and the recycling containers at Swatch Fest again. Again, it was a good response. We're preparing the final paperwork for small claims. Our first court date is 25th of October. We've got 175 people this year, which is, I think, down about 30 or 40, maybe. I think we're usually closer to 200, so we're down quite a bit this year. The DEA drug take-back will be on Saturday, October 23rd, from 8 to noon. And it'll be at the Tell City Fire Station. Look at your commodity sheets. Commodities, all prices went up this month. First time that's happened in a long time, but That's the good news. And that's all I've got, unless somebody has any questions.
Okay, well, the next thing on the agenda is the budget.
Should all have copies of the budget,
The proposed
the
budget.
proposed budget.
I would like to go ahead and amend the budget in one way. I think, and me and Charlie's talked about this, and so did Ralph when we were in the meeting, but if we can, we'd like to make sure that there is also a stipend, or I think that's the correct word. If it's supposed to be bonus, whichever word's the correct word, we'll use that. I think it's stipend is the word we're supposed to use.
Take tax out, I think it's bonus.
Bonus takes taxes out, stipend does not, right? So, okay. Whichever one Pam advises us to do.
Bonus.
Bonus, okay. We were looking at maybe prorating it, like at a 50 cent per hour kind of rate is what we were looking at. I think it came out to be close to what, 10 grand roughly, plus or minus a little bit here and there. And we were gonna take that out of basically the extra, our rainy day fund, is basically what we're gonna take that out of, so. Does that make, did I say that correctly?
Yes.
Okay.
To clarify, Greg, that would be in lieu of raises.
Raises.
In
that
lieu
were
of
previ-
raises.
That were previously discussed.
Yeah.
The taxable bonus running through payroll
Yeah,
would be the alternative method of giving out
yeah.
increased salaries.
Yeah, and do it on a per rate basis so that it's fair and all that good stuff. So. Other than that, it is what it is.
Will that be paid out at the beginning of next year?
That's up to you
That was
guys.
our plan.
Yeah.
I mean, that was what we
You can tell them if
discussed.
you want
So-
to,
It
and-
was in the month of January paid out, basically.
yeah. You just give us the green light and we'll get on the next paycheck, whichever one needs to go to. Now, I guess my question then, is that bonus based on 2021 total hours for the year?
That's
Is that
what our
you're-
conversation
Yes.
was. was
And
whatever
they
work
have to be
for.
employed as of the date of the bonus to get the
Correct.
bonus check, correct?
Correct.
Okay, I'm asking for Debbie more so,
Yeah.
but,
Yeah.
yeah, okay, I just wanted to clarify, because I'll have to, I want that to be on the notes here so that we can go back and look at that, so.
So the motion would be to accept the budget with a amended
Mhm.
bonus of how much?
At 50 cents per hour, prorated, paid to all employees, current employees on January 1, basically.
Okay.
But what we're gonna turn into the county council is this budget.
Yes.
Mhm.
This is what we have to turn into the county, no matter what we're gonna do.
No, but I wanted it in there.
Right,
Yeah.
I don't
It can be
think-
part of our motion, though.
Right.
Right, the vote's not a problem, that's fine,
Yeah.
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 But this
Yeah.
is the budget we're turning in to the county council.
Right, it needs to be amended to reflect.
No, it's not amended.
Huh?
The budget won't be amended then. We're
Now,
doing
this
that
is
on-
what we will see when we have our budget hearing, as far as the stipend.
Yeah.
That's not included.
It's not included in the
Not
budget.
included in the
Because it's
budget.
coming out of the rainy day fund. I don't think we have to show that.
It would still need to, unless we're paying it out of the building fund, which I don't think we are,
No.
our capital projects fund.
No.
It would still need to be in this budget, because it's gonna be we only have one fund, general fund. So all of ours, even though we have capital reserves, we only have one fund. So it would have to be reflected in this budget, or we'd have to ask for additional appropriations come next year for the extra 10,000.
I think
Right, that's what I understood, that
So-
it needs to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, my question is,
To me, it would come out of the capital reserve funds, because that's the only rainy day fund that we have right now, right? It's the only fund that we would have to be able to pull it from, right?
So we'll have to
We'd have to
put a line-
transfer it
That's
to
where-
another line.
that's where the cash is, but we don't really have two funds. That's the tricky part. We show it that way, we track it that way. but
Okay.
For SBOA purposes, we have one fund, the general fund.
Gotcha.
So I think that's the tricky part. We track it that way for budget purposes, so we can kind of keep a slush
So
fund
we're gonna have to do a line item on the budget for
To me, I would add
stipend.
for bonuses.
Yes, to me, I would add a line item to this budget. is what I would-
Okay, then I'll have to do that, otherwise we're gonna take it out, yeah.
But that's okay, it's just, we amended with that, but.
So then the
You
budget-
amend it and pass it tonight and just.
Yep.
You're approving a $528,000 budget instead of a $518,000.
Correct.
Correct.
Yes.
I do have one question. It's more on the income side than the actual expenditure side. So it's the black and white
Mhm.
sheet, second page. The fees, does that include charging the hotels still as they are.
Yes.
Yes.
We included that for next year's budget. As soon as this has been approved, then our board will meet, our little committee, to discuss the changes for next year's, for 22.
For the billing cycle of 20.
Right, right.
Yeah,
The
because
billing
by the time
cycle
you guys,
22.
I don't know what you're gonna get with, what you're trying to meet with, but I don't think you can get done in time to get, before we get billing out anyway.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So we need to get going on that.
Right, and I've
But I don't
already
think we'll get it
spoken to,
accomplished.
Randy, Kessens about it. He realized, because of our time crunch, there wasn't anything we could do. They're gonna do their thing anyway, so, but, they understood that as soon as this budget, we approved it, we would get on board to start meeting to try to come up with a different rate.
So they're still gonna have to pay that in 2022.
Correct.
Yeah.
But not like nursing homes, they don't have to pay it.
Everything's gonna be exactly the same as it was this year. In
I thought you were on
2022.
that subcommittee, that's why I'm
Yeah.
confused.
I am, but we haven't met yet.
We
We
haven't
haven't
met.
met yet, so I am on it.
I was confused.
You're 100% right. Don't be confused.
We haven't made any changes in the rate structure yet.
No. As of right now, we stay the same.
It just bothers me.
Well, I know.
I understand.
It really does, because,
We were so crunched for
I
time,
don't,
Chris. we
I don't
just
think
didn't-
I think it bothers everybody
Yeah.
at this point.
That's why we wanted to look at changing the rate structure.
Yeah.
But it takes time to do it, we don't have the time to wait. It's gonna take probably 6 months to get it done.
And that's why we need to get on this right away.
Oh, I agree, we need to get on it right away. I understand that. I
And
just-
like I said, I've reached out to them and explained that because of our time constraint, we weren't gonna be able to change it for next year.
And did they understand that, or they?
They're still not happy, but Randy said he understands at the time.
Okay.
What they do, we have no control over, okay?
Oh, I understand
It's just
that.
that simple.
Sure.
So, but, they are appreciative that we're looking at the matter, so.
And that's the first step.
Right.
Okay. I just thought it should be brought for discussion, because that was a pretty
Yeah.
big topic in our last.
Yeah.
It was,
meeting.
Definitely.
and the action taken is to form a committee to look at restructuring that. And,
Yeah, and I agree, I'm glad to be on that committee, I'm happy actually to be on that.
yeah.
Just 'cause
Well, I am too, I want to move forward with this.
That was just this year I understood all, for this side, I get that all pretty simple to me. And I get our income and stuff, and hopefully some of our commodities do go up more and more, we get a little more. That's shot in the dark in most cases, I'll just be honest.
Just shot dark, yeah.
You know that, I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is the budget.
It's about like lumber prices, you don't know what you're gonna pay for a 2x4 one day versus the next.
Exactly.
I get it, I get that.
So, back to the motion. We are going to have a motion on, is that your motion, Greg, to accept the budget with the amendment of the bonus?
Yep, yes, $10,000 bonus line item, yes.
Okay. Now, that'll save us from going back for an additional appropriation.
Right.
Yep.
Okay, I have a motion.
I'll second that.
Motion, second by Randy. Do we need to go roll call since budget? Okay. Everybody in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Motion made.
And just so you know, it's basically over the hotel thing. I'm not comfortable with that yet, so that's my reason, if I need to get one.
You did, you did, but you
And
did.
just clarify, that's my ask. So,
Okay.
That's it.
All right, motion made and second and carried, 5-1. All right. Next thing on the agenda is new business. Anything, Kim?
Got one in the business, let's see if anybody's got some.
All right, schedule next meeting?
23rd of September,
Hmm?
23rd of September.
September 23rd?
When you want to get that?
4 o'clock here?
Hold on just a second. Tom,
Yes.
we are talking about the public hearing, and it was mentioned about having a public hearing for our changes on the homestead credit on the 23rd before. I'm gonna, in the council meeting, we're gonna set a date for it, but if there is a conflict, we may have to change the date for this meeting. Because they wanna have it early, and there's too many of us that are gonna be involved in that meeting that we wouldn't have, probably wouldn't even have a quorum for our meeting here. So could we tentatively schedule on the 23rd, and then if they decide to have that meeting, then we change our meeting, Ken?
Yeah. Or do we just want to go ahead and?
Or you want to just go ahead and change it?
Well, I'm hoping to have the meeting earlier in September, but I won't know that for a fact until our council meeting.
Okay.
What time do you think you'd have it on the 23rd if you have?
He was talking at 4:30.
4:30? You can have this meeting at 3:30.
Yeah.
Would that work for everybody?
If you guys can handle it, I can handle it.
Okay, why don't we just schedule it for 3:30?
Can't, but the courthouse have it.
Yeah.
As long as the courthouse is available, that's what I'm
Right,
getting.
yeah, because we're gonna have a meeting here at 5 o'clock anyway, and the possibility of one at 4:30, so it's gonna be available,
Okay.
okay?
Want to make sure there wasn't another meeting in here.
Sounds good.
So we're having it at 3:30?
3:30 on the 23rd.
23rd.
Okay.
All right, motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Second by Gary. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign? All right.
Do you want to get your county budget first?